the Democratic National Committee has officially served its lawsuit to WikiLeaks through the unconventional means of Twitter. The DNC alleges in the lawsuit that WikiLeaks conspired to influence the election. Now, the lawsuit, which alleges the Russian government, the Trump campaign, and WikiLeaks conspired to influence the 2016 presidential election in favor of Donald Trump, was filed last April. However, due to the group's very elusive nature, lawyers were unable to directly serve notice on the whistleblowing organization. There's no one you can physically go to give notice. So the service was made via Twitter. Now, what the DNC did was they went to a judge to ask him to be able to serve WikiLeaks over Twitter, which is an incredibly non-conventional way of doing things, by actually making legal notice through actual social media. Now, since they argued that since WikiLeaks is very active on Twitter, so it's very likely that they will see it, and that they have previously demonstrated in a tweet that they've actually read the lawsuit as it was originally filed. And that's true. WikiLeaks has given out segments of that lawsuit responding to some of the allegations made. So they have read it. They know it's there. So this can legally constitute as performing service on WikiLeaks. Now, at that time, WikiLeaks has not yet responded to the official notice of summons. Now, earlier this week, meaning before this service was made, its founder Julian Assange was called to testify before the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee, and an offer that WikiLeaks says is being considered, whether or not they want to testify on the investigation into the allegations that Russia interfered in the elections. Now, the letter was delivered to the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where Assange has been living since he was granted asylum 6 years ago. So it seems now very much that the DNC is going to go forward, take this to court, and file actual accusations against WikiLeaks for interfering in the election. See, what's really interesting about this is that, well, technically they did. By giving out information that the DNC was perverting their own democratic process, the fact that Bernie Sanders had actually won the popular vote for the leadership of the party, and that this was leaked. And this caused a lot of people to be very angry at the DNC, turn against it, and vote for Trump instead. Well, if you call revealing the truth to be interfering in an election, then I guess WikiLeaks is guilty, if we were to phrase it this way. But that's not the way the DNC is trying to make it. They're trying to make it look like this was a huge act of manipulation to try to screw poor Hillary Clinton out of her rightful spot as president. And frankly, myself and a lot of people are really fed up with, the Clinton family and the Bush family having control over the United States. I mean, this is really getting sickening that these two families have wielded so much power over government. But we could see exactly what they're doing here. They're trying to make up for their loss. They're trying to get back at certain people for revealing the truth about what the DNC did. And that is that Bernie Sanders actually won the nomination and that he was screwed out of it. And some of the documents leaked suggest that he may have even been threatened into silence. Well, there's no proof either way, but there's some things that do sort of suggest it, but there is no proof of that. But this just shows how far the Hillary campaign and the Democratic Party is willing to go and try to pass the buck off onto Trump. Oh, they didn't really lose. It was all a conspiracy against poor Hillary. It never ceases to amaze me the kind of mentality that a lot of American liberals seem to have. They will say, and rightfully so, that the United States is a racist, sexist, homophobic society. So then when somebody who's racist, sexist, and homophobic wins the presidency, it's, well, that couldn't have happened. Well, of course it could. I mean, you can't sit there, claim your country is this, this, and this, and then deny it when the country does that. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Hillary Clinton lost the campaign because she said to hell with the working class. She overemphasized on identity politics. She is a war hawk. Now, that is not to say there wasn't a lot of BS thrown at her. The whole Comet ping pong child trafficking thing was a complete lie that people still, for some reason, believe in. Now, there were a lot of malicious lies spread about her, but there are also very rightful criticisms that can be made of her and can be made of her policies, and the fact that she often touts herself as being some kind of a feminist when she is perfectly okay with women being bombed by the U.S. military. Her role in having Muammar Gaddafi outed in Libya, killing 30,000 people and bringing slavery, including the literal slavery of women, back into the country. Exactly how feminist is that? It's the kind of imperialism for her kind of thing that we get out of many American liberals. It's the, well, the wars are wrong when the Republicans do it, but when the Democrats do it, oh, then it's for real altruistic reasons, and that when the Democrats do it, the American empire, kind of doesn't exist. It's a complete and utter astounding hypocrisy out of not only the Democratic Party, but people who vote for the Democratic Party as well. And then a lot of people have these ideas that somehow they're going to change it. The next Bernie Sanders is going to do it. Cortez is going to be the next person that will change the Democratic Party. And a lot of kind of ideas that if you just vote for something different, then something different is going to happen. But in the end, this is the Democratic Party trying to point fingers for their own incompetence during the election. And frankly, this does not go well for Julian Assange, although they are considering actually testifying, and some people have suggested, including Julian Assange himself, that his testimony would actually be very damning to the case that the Democratic National Committee is trying to make.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.